Concept 7, now we're getting into some real algebra stuff with the order of operations. Now, you are going to need 4 highlighter colors today for all 4 stages of the order of operations. So if you don't have them, go ahead and pause them and get them now. If you do have them, we'll keep rolling right along. The first step on the order of operations when you're tackling huge algebra problems is going to be to do anything in parentheses. P stands for parentheses, and you're going to do anything that's on the inside first. That's the first step. Next, we have E, and E is for exponents. And exponents, you need to apply. So to apply the exponents, just a quick recap. Whenever you have a number with an exponent, this is the base, this is the power. And what it's telling you is multiply this, multiply your base this many times. Okay, so what this means, what 4 cubed actually means is 4 times 4 times 4. I'm going to multiply 4. How many times? 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so anytime you see an exponent on a number, that's what it means. Multiply this many times. Okay, so if I were to do this, 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4 is 64. So 4 cubed is 64, and that's called applying the exponents. Let's keep going. After the exponents are done, you will need to go through your algebraic expression, and you're going to go from, you're going to multiply and divide. That's what the M and the D stand for. Multiply and divide. And the important thing to remember about multiply and divide is you go left to right. Notice that I did not put M and D up and down in the order. I put them right next to each other, side to side, because they happen at the same time. They're happening as part of the same step. You're just going to go from left to right, okay, when you do that. So multiply and divide from left to right, and then last but certainly not least, we have A and S, which of course is our addition and subtraction, again, happening in the same step. You do not have to add before you subtract. It doesn't go in order like that. This time, just like multiplication and division, you're going to go left to right. Okay? So add and subtract left to right. Now, let's take a look at some examples. Shall we? I think we shall. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is anytime you're tackling a big problem like this where you're going to have to do more than one operation at a time, I want you to write your order of operations over to the side. Okay, that's going to help you keep it straight until you get used to this. So we're going to start, of course, with parentheses. Do I have any parentheses? I do. So I'm going to do this part first, whatever's in here, and I'm going to just ignore the rest of the problem. -4, -4, same signs, add and keep. 4 plus 4 is 8. Keep the negative. There we go. And bring the rest of it right down with it. Okay? Now, I've got 2 minus -8. Well, if you remember, anytime you have minus and negative together, bam, bam, those are going to become a positive. So now it's 2 plus 8. But just to check on our steps here, did we do our parentheses? Yes. Do we have any exponents to do? No. Do we have any multiplying and dividing? No. Do I have any adding and subtracting? Yes. 2 and 8. Now they have the same sign, so I'm going to add them and keep that positive sign. So my final answer is 10. Let's take a look at another one. For 16, parentheses, exponents, multiply and divide, add and subtract. So parentheses, do I have anything inside parentheses? I do. I have -5 and -2, same signs, add and keep. Parentheses are done. Now, do I have any exponents? Sure do. I have this squared. And remember, the exponent, in order to apply it, means that I'm going to multiply -7, and I'm going to do that 2 times. I have 2 of them, so -7 times -7. Now, -7 times -7 is, negative times a negative is a positive. 7 times 7 is 49. So I'm done. This time there was no multiplication, division, or addition and subtraction. Awesome. Number 17. Parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. All right. Parentheses, we don't have any, so we're good to go there. Exponents, we do have one. We have 5 squared, which means 5 times 5, which is 25. Bring down the rest of my problem. Exponents are done. Do I have any multiplication or division to handle? Nope, I'm good. Any addition or subtraction? Yes. 25 minus 5 is 20. And I'm done. Let's see, one more here before you're off on your own. Our order of operations says parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. Do I have anything inside parentheses? I sure do. It's right here, -2 plus 3. Different signs, subtract, keep the sign of the bigger one. So it's going to be +1. Bring everything else down, okay? So we're moving from up to down, vertically. Parentheses are done. Any exponents? No. Multiplication or division? No. Addition and subtraction, I've got 3 minus a +1, which is just 2, and I'm done. So why don't you take a look at 19 and 20 and see if you can tackle those on your own. Pause the video and then come back when you think you've got it. So that's what you should have gotten, -4 and -10. How'd you do? I bet you did just fine. But remember, if you have any questions, you can bring them to class. Let's take a look at a few more. 21. All right, so parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. And there we go. Parentheses. I'm going to do all of this first. And I'm going to go from left to right. So -4, +4. If I combine those, I get 0. 0 minus 1 is just -1. Bring down the rest of my problem, times -4. So parentheses are gone. Any exponents? Nope, I'm good. Any multiplying and dividing? Yes. So I'm going to go left to right, multiply these two together. -1 times -4 is +4, and I'm done. No need to worry about addition and subtraction. I do want to see these steps listed off to the side and crossed off, just to make sure that you remember every single part of what you're doing. Because even if this part is not complicated, the problems are going to get much more complicated. So I want this to be so ingrained in your head that you don't even have to think about it. Okay, you know right where to go to start, and you know how to tell if you're done. Okay? So I will be looking for that when I check your map. Number 22, let's take a look at this one together. Parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. Parentheses, well, I don't have any, so I'm good to go there. Exponents, don't have any of those either, so I'm good to go there. Multiply and divide, left to right. So I'm going to start on the left side of my equation. I'm going to work my way across. So I'm looking for multiplication or division. There's multiplication, so I'm going to stop and multiply these two things together. A positive times a negative gives me a negative, and 2 times 4 gives me 8. Bring down the rest of my problem. And go again. You keep going until you don't have any. So multiply or divide left to right. There's a division sign, -8 and -2. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Bring down the rest of my problem and check to see. Any more multiplication or division? Nope. So I'm done there. Now I can add or subtract. -5 and +4 gives me a -1. And I'm all set. Addition and subtraction, done. All right, so why don't you take a look at number 23. Tackle this one on your own and see how you do. And then we'll do 24 together when you come back. How'd you do? Let's take a look at 24. So 24 is bigger than the other problems that we've been doing. But that's okay. As long as we follow our order of operations, we'll be fine. First, we're going to take a look at parentheses and do what's inside first. So that's inside there. And in here, we have negative plus a positive. So I'm going to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger one. So parentheses are done. No exponents. Multiply or divide. I can see I have division here. So -5 divided by -1 is going to be a +5. And there's nothing else to do, so I'm all set. How about for 25? Parentheses, exponent, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. Parentheses, -4 divided by -4. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So +1. Keep it inside just until we know we're safe. Parentheses are done. Exponents. I have an exponent, and this exponent tells me that I need to multiply 1. I need to do it 2 times. So 1 times 1. Well, that's just 1. So 1. Bring down the rest of my problem. Exponents are done. Now I'm going to multiply or divide left to right. So 1 times negative 3 equals positive times a negative is a negative. 1 times 3 is 3. And I'm all set. Why don't you try 26 and come back for the answer when you're done, and then we'll be all set. Did you get negative 4? I bet you did. But remember, if you have any trouble with these, just come to class, put a star by it, and come to class ready to ask me some questions or ask your neighbors some questions, and we'll get it all straightened out for you so you can be sure that you can follow your order of operations with no problemo. Why don't you take a look at these last 6 and do those on your own before you come to class? And if you have any questions, don't panic. Just bring them with you, and we'll be sure to straighten it out for you.